Hi there. I just harvested some carrots and I'm really excited because it's mid-March in Kodiak, Alaska, and these carrots have been in the ground for like 5 months. Well, longer than that because I planted them in June. It's not perfect, my harvest. I mean, some are mushy, kind of icky, like that, and this one is, that's even worse. But I'm cleaning my carrots in the snow and I'm really excited because normally I wouldn't have even tried to do this. That is, harvest carrots or leave them in the ground for so long. Because a lot of books will tell you, a lot of sources will tell you, it's not a good idea. But I was inspired by two people. Their names are Helen and Scott Nearing. And Helen and Scott Nearing were like the ultimate back to the landers. They homesteaded in Vermont, and they homesteaded in their final place in Maine. And they did almost everything by hand. They built stone walls and greenhouses and put up everything. But I want to tell you a story, and that is, and this is where I learned or got permission or gave myself permission to try new things like this, was, and by the way, they used to write many, many columns for Mother Earth News. So if you can get your hands on older issues, early issues of Mother Earth News, say from the 70s or so, it's very valuable reading. Anyway, Helen and Scott had this phenomenal greenhouse, and it was late in the fall. The weather forecast called for freezing, very cold temperatures. And they became concerned because in the greenhouse they had crops of like a lot of lettuce. They had to decide what to do. Should they harvest? Should they water the lettuce? Or should they leave it dry? So Helen and Scott ran an experiment. Part of the lettuce crop they left alone, as in they didn't cover them, they didn't do anything special. The other half of the lettuce crop they watered. They figured, well, if citrus growers in Florida and so on that are facing, or Texas, or that are facing a freeze, they mist their crops with water to protect them from the freezes. So they did both. They kept it dry, one half dry and one half wet. So the next morning, they went into their greenhouse and guess what they found? The lettuce that had received water, that had been misted and watered and taken up water, was completely mushy. It had died to the very crown, to the surface of the soil. The other crop of lettuce did fine. It was a little wilted, but soon it rebounded. So what caused half of the crop to die like that? You would think that water would be a protector, except that, as you know, when water freezes, it expands. And so that night, all the cells in the lettuce that received water, the water expanded in the cells and they lysed, or they burst to the death of the lettuce. Whereas the other lettuce was just fine because it wasn't waterlogged. So when I first moved to Alaska, one of the things I wanted to do was grow some of my own food. But I had also heard that the growing season was very, very narrow, from maybe May to September. But I wanted to push the envelope. I wanted to push the shoulder season into the fall, and I wanted to start really early. In order to do that, I started experimenting with these hoops, these covered hoops. Now, this is back in 1984, 1985. I started making my own compost, and anyway, I just started experimenting with covering my vegetables. So I decided Hi, Crow. Hey, you guys. So I decided to emulate, to copy what Helen and Scott Nearing did. And so I had seedlings growing in August and September. And then in mid-October, I transplanted lettuce seedlings inside a hoop like this. Probably about 20 of them. I covered them with plastic. This is mid-October. I covered them with plastic, and I didn't open the raised bed hoop, the cover, until the following March. I didn't look at it. I didn't check on it. I didn't try and water it or anything. And guess what? 75% of the lettuce plants survived. Some were a little wilted, but they rebounded. What I want to share with you is that many times when we're in the garden or trying new things, and we might get this thought, well, I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe I shouldn't try. It might fail. What if it goes to seed? Or my response to you would be, just go ahead and do it. Don't wait for permission. You might be breaking some rules, like wives' tales or something you heard on YouTube or TikTok, or your neighbor says, no, it won't work. Go ahead and give it a shot. Just try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It goes into your compost pile. So have a little self-talk with yourself. You can do this. And remember, all experiences that happen to us, they're neither good or bad. It's really what we get out of it. So have a great time in the garden. Experiment. Be like a little child or a citizen scientist. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.